Dear friends, welcome to another episode of Military Realm. In this video, we will discuss the recent allegations regarding an Iranian plan to assassinate Donald Trump, the newly elected President of the United States. Could this be used as a justification for war? On Friday, November 8th, the U.S. Department of Justice disclosed a shocking accusation. It revealed the existence of an Iranian plot led by Faraz Shakeri to carry out the assassination of Donald Trump. Shakeri, a 51-year-old Afghan residing in Tehran, has a lengthy criminal history in the United States and allegedly received this mission from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, of Iran to orchestrate such an attack. According to the indictment, this plan was developed in response to the escalating tensions between Tehran and Washington, which have intensified since Trump ordered a drone strike in 2020 that resulted in the death of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Shakeri, who immigrated to the United States as a child, was deported in 2008 after being convicted of theft. His connections with former associates in the American prison system were reportedly exploited for recruiting allies to assist in executing this operation. The plot was said to have been outlined in September 2024, when Shakeri was approached in Tehran by an Iranian official who demanded a detailed assassination scheme within a week. Court documents indicate that the operation was intended to take place before the presidential elections, but if it could not be carried out in time, it would be postponed until after the election, with the possibility of Trump losing to Kamala Harris. Investigations have uncovered that Shakeri and his collaborators, including 2 Americans known from his time in prison, were also involved in surveilling other potential targets, such as Mahsa Alinejad, an Iranian journalist and activist. Alinejad has been a fierce critic of the Tehran regime and its repressive policies, and she has previously been the target of conspiracy plots. The Department of Justice underscored the seriousness of the threats emanating from Iran, with Attorney General Merrick Garland emphasizing that few entities pose such a significant threat to U.S. national security as Iran. The FBI and other national security agencies collaborated to dismantle the conspiracy and apprehend those involved within American territory. This indictment also sheds light on Iran's ongoing efforts to mobilize its resources beyond its borders, aiming to target individuals deemed adversaries of the regime, not just in the United States, but also in other strategically vital regions, including Israel and parts of Europe. The Iranian government's response was swift and unequivocal. Ismail Baghai, spokesperson for the Iranian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, denounced the allegations as repulsive and part of a conspiracy fabricated by Israel and opposition groups to the Iranian regime. In a series of statements to the press and on social media, Tehran dismissed the accusations, claiming they were merely intended to heighten tensions and justify an aggressive stance by the United States. This type of reaction is characteristic of Iranian foreign policy, which often blends combative rhetoric with the denial of terrorism or covert operations. Furthermore, the historical backdrop of tensions with the United States, dating from the Islamic Revolution of 1979 to the U.S. withdrawal from the nuclear agreement in 2018, exacerbates mutual distrust and fuels a propensity for conspiracy theories and misinformation. To grasp the severity of the current situation, it's essential to revisit the event that triggered many of the recent confrontations between the US and Iran, the elimination of General Qasem Soleimani in January 2020. Soleimani was one of the most influential leaders of the Iranian armed forces and a key architect of Iran's external operations. His assassination in Baghdad, carried out via a drone strike authorized by Trump, marked a pivotal turning point in US-Iran relations. This act provoked a vehement response from Tehran, which vowed to seek vengeance against those it held responsible. Since that moment, the prospect of retaliation has permeated U.S. security policy concerning Iran. The alleged plot against Trump can thus be seen as a logical extension of this ongoing threat, reinforcing the narrative that Iran maintains an agenda of retribution. The Latin phrase casus belli, meaning a cause for war, has historically been used to justify military actions, and an attempt on the life of a national leader or newly elected president could undoubtedly be regarded as a direct assault on the sovereignty and security of a nation. In the case of the United States, Such an act would not only be provocative, but also challenge the global hegemonic position the country occupies. Political and military analysts suggest that if clear evidence of state involvement emerges, the US would have a plausible justification for a range of responses, including possibly direct military operations against the state responsible for the attack. It is worth noting that wars have been initiated due to attacks on national leaders, such as the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in June 1914, an event that set off the long and devastating First World War. The repercussions of a confrontation between the United States and Iran extend far beyond the borders of the two nations. The Middle East, a region characterized by complex alliances and ethnic and sectarian tensions, could witness a dramatic surge in violence. Iran, with its strategic connections to groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and militias in Iraq and Syria, could incite retaliatory attacks against American and Israeli interests, leading to a chain of unpredictable events. The international community, including US allies in NATO and powers like China and Russia, would be closely monitoring the situation, calculating their own responses and containment strategies. An escalation could realign alliances and alter the balance of power in critical regions, affecting everything from oil flows to global security. While the prospects of direct conflict are concerning, diplomatic channels remain an essential element in crisis containment. Historically, the United States has adopted an approach that combines maximum pressure with tactical diplomacy when dealing with Iran. The sitting president and his foreign policy team now face the challenge of deciding whether to maintain a hardline stance or explore the possibility of negotiations to prevent escalation. The relationship between Washington and Tehran is a study in contrasts and contradictions. Moments of openness, such as the 2015 nuclear deal, stand in stark contrast to the tensions that followed its dissolution by Donald Trump in 2018 and the episodes of open confrontation that ensued. Any decision regarding retaliation or military action must consider the potential reactions from European allies and the implications for global trade and security. The alleged plan to assassinate Donald Trump represents more than just a threat to his life. It reflects how tensions between the United States and Iran can reach a boiling point with potentially catastrophic consequences. If proven, such a plot could redefine US foreign policy and raise profound questions about how to more assertively deal with authoritarian regimes that employ asymmetric warfare strategies. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news.